Hi friends, welcome to my North Knit Corner. My name is Anne and I come to you from the south of Norway. Here I live with my husband and our 3 boys. This is a podcast all about knitting. So I hope that you want to join me for a while I talk about my finished objects, my work in progress, my Yarnjoy, and maybe a little bit of life talk. So you are so welcome if you have been here before, and welcome if you are here for the first time. I really hope that you will like it here. So find yourself something good to drink, and maybe you're knitting or you're crocheting, you're sewing, and let's talk about the best craft in the whole world. I will have information about everything I talk about in the description box below, and I will also have timestamps on this episode, so it's easy for you to skip the parts you don't want to listen to or jump back to the things you maybe want to hear one more time. So let's just get started with finished objects. My first FO today is also what I'm wearing, and that is the Autumn Alpine by Boyle & Knitworks, Caitlin Hunter. I am finally done, and I am so happy with how everything turned out in the end. I started with the 3 yarns that I found in my stash. It was Villa Sillat, which is 100% wool. I had 1 ball of brown and 1 of white, and I can't remember the yardage on the yarn, but I think it's about 350 meters per 100 grams. So I had 700 meters with the brown and the white together. And then I had a beautiful skein of yarn from Fjord Fibers, which is a Norwegian hand dyer, and she's not Norwegian, but she lives in Norway. And the color was Autumn in the Air, so I thought it was very appropriate for this sweater called Autumn Alpine. And I just want to try to make a top or a sweater out of those 3 yarns that I found in my stash. And so I started, and I used the Fjord Fibers in the colorwork, which I think looks very, very nice. It was so much fun to knit with hand-dyed yarn in the colorwork, and I really want to do that again. I have knit the size 2 on 2.75 and 3 millimeter needles, which is US 2 and 2.5. And I I've done a few things with this. If you have been here before, you know that I knit the color that is in the pattern, but I didn't like how it looked, so I cut it off and I knitted a 1x1 ribbing instead. I knitted it long so I could fold it down and knit it down, so it's a folded color, and I was happy with that. But I thought it was a bit too wide, so I've been taking a elastic thread in here, so it lays more nice, I think, now. But since I had a limited amount of yarn, I had to find out how I wanted to combine those yarns. And I started to knit with brown stripes in the body. If you were here last time, you know. And I decided to omit that, or don't do that, rather, and just knit it all white. And I also did 1x1 ribbing on the hem, because I didn't want the hem that was in the pattern. Then it came to the sleeves, and first I knitted brown here, but I suddenly realized that I wouldn't have enough for long arms, And I didn't really want a short sleeve sweater because this is very warm. So I don't think I would have used it if I knitted short sleeves. Not in this yarn anyway. So I then said to you last time that I wanted to try and knit with the brown and then use the rest of the Fjord Fibers color on the rest of the arm. I did that, but it looked okay, but I didn't really like it. So then a thought occurred to me. Maybe I have some Rauma Finul in my stash that is white. Maybe I can see if it can be okay together with this. And so I found 45 grams from a Rauma Finul ball in white. And I actually put it side by side with this Villa Sillat yarn because Rauma Finul and Villa Sillat are very similar, I think. So when I put them side by side, I couldn't see the difference between them. And yeah, even though they are dyed separately and probably milled in and yeah, all that in different places, it was very similar. So I was really pleased. So I ripped back all the brown, as you see, and I started to knit with the white Rauma Finul. And I'm not sure, can you see the difference? I can't. And yeah, I'm very happy. So I found some more white and I went for it. And then I striped in the brown and I have that on the ends. And the best thing would probably to have all white sleeves, but I didn't have enough yarn and my point was to use up stash and not buy anything new. So I'm okay with how it turned out. I think it's kind of fun. And I just knitted straight down, and when I came to right before I wanted to do the ribbing, I just heavily decreased around the arm here, or the sleeve, and it gave it kind of this balloony effect, poof, which I kind of like. So this is how it all turned out in the end, and I'm very happy with it. And the best part is I used all yarn from stash. I didn't buy anything new. I even got to use up the Rauma Finul yarn, and it weighs 292 grams. And I have nothing left of the Villa Sillat yarn at all. I used it all. I still have quite a bit left of the Fjord Fibers yarn, but that is okay. It's a sock yarn. I can use it for socks. Or I was thinking maybe I can use it in colorwork mittens or something. So I'm so happy with how everything turned out in the end, even though I ripped back, I cut off some things, but it was all worth it in the end. So it was a very fun project. I had a lot of fun with this. Yeah. All right, guys. So it's Easter soon, so I of course need some Easter socks. And I have finished my eggs for Easter socks by Stone Knits. They are very fun, I think. I knitted these on 2mm needles and 2.75mm needles, which is US 0 and US 2. Yes, what can I say? I have dyed some of the yarn myself. The blue I have dyed, and also the yellow. The red is Sandnes Sisu, and the colorway number is 4218, and the white is Drops Fabel, which is off-white. I think the color number is 100. I've done so many mistakes with these socks. Yeah, but I don't care. I think they look good anyway. And they are for me. I knitted the size 2. And yes, so I didn't see it before I was finished with the socks, but on my first socks I forgot to knit 1 row in the diagram on the hens or the chickens. So yeah, they are a bit short-headed because it's the first row under the, I don't know what you call these things they have on their head, but under the red hair I am missing a row with white, so they're a bit short-headed, but that's okay, I don't mind. And also, what else? I forgot to knit a stitch there. It's supposed to be a yellow stitch in between all the chickens. I forgot to do that, so I didn't do it on the other sock either, just to make them the same. But here I remembered the 1 row for the head that I forgot in the first one. And of course I haven't done the best job of knitting the color work in the round. It's a very small circumference and I think it's very difficult. But they go over my feet, which is the most important thing. And on the back here, I don't think it's too bad. But on the other side, it's a bit tighter. So it's okay. I will knit more. I got the Stone Knits book, so I'm going to knit more of her colorwork patterns, and yeah, I think I will get better, hopefully, when I've knitted some more. But it's a lot of fun. On the first sock, you're supposed to do some duplicate stitching. I did it on the first sock, but I thought it was very tedious and very boring. And I got so many ends because of the duplicate stitching, and I didn't feel I did it very well. So on the next socks I just knitted it. It's the beak is one of the, so I just knitted it in. I know it is a long float, but I don't mind. On these socks, if I had to cut the yarn for every duplicate stitch I did, otherwise it would be long floats there as well. So yeah, I thought that was very stressful. Yeah, I think it looks okay on the other sock where I just knitted it in. Yeah, but I have to be mindful of doing the floats very loose, I think, because I think it's a little bit tight, even though it fits me. So these are the eggs for Easter socks. I did one more mistake, by the way, on the structure pattern on the front of the socks. You see there's a structure here, and there are 2 rows you're supposed to change between. I only did the first row all the way. I don't know why. I just probably didn't, and my mind didn't catch that there was a second row when I read through the pattern. So, but it's okay. They're my socks. So I'm very happy with them. I think they're very fun and I really love the toe. Yes, so I highly recommend the Stone Knits patterns. They're so much fun and I can't wait to cast on another one. Last weekend I went to a knitting festival and I needed to bring some easy projects to knit on while I was there. So last week I cast on several things that I could bring because I didn't have any easy things on my needles, so I needed some new ones to bring when I was sitting around chatting and knitting and watching things happen on the stage. So I cast on a Oslo hat by Petite Knit. I knitted with Filcolana Avetta in this color 136 mustard and Sandnes tynn silk mohair. I had this in a color called 2113. I don't know the color name, but I didn't like it. It was kind of a yellow color, so I dyed it and I paired it with this. So I finished the Oslo hat during the weekend. Here it is. I knitted the junior size, and because the Oslo hats I've knitted before, they have been very big. Now I haven't measured the gauge on the other ones that I've knitted, but I did on this one and I actually hit gauge. So I think it's really big to be a junior size. Yeah, and it's very baggy, which it's probably going, it's maybe the way it's supposed to be, but yeah, it's not as I want it to be. For my head, I want a tight fitting hat, beanie, and yeah. So I have to knit another one of these. I have enough yarn, as you see, because I only used one ball of the Filcolana Avetta plus maybe 2 grams from another ball, and I didn't use a whole skein of the Sandnes tynn silk mohair. So I have enough for another one, and I'm going to do the smallest size, and I'm going to knit this part shorter, I think, before I start the decreases, because I can maybe take it on. I don't feel I look good in hats, but they are necessary. So you see, it's very baggy. So it fits, but I want maybe a tighter one and not as long. I don't like this style of hat, I have to say. But it's very warm and I really love the color, so I want another one. I hope I can get a hat that really fits me, and maybe make the brim a little bit taller also, to have a taller brim and a shorter head. No. Yeah. Anyway, maybe because it's so slouchy, I mean, it's mohair, of course, so maybe it was a yarn that stands up a bit more and not fall down like this does would look better, but I still want it to be more tight fitting, I think. So that is the Oslo hat. I knitted it on 3.5mm needles, US 4. Yeah. And I did, I have never liked the decrease, how the decreases look on my Oslo hat. They are, you decrease beside each other. Yeah. So I always got a gap in between them I didn't like, so I took a stitch in between the decreases on this one. Can you see it? And I think it looks a bit better, but I still feel like the stitch in between is very loose. So I don't know. But it will be a nice hat for someone else, I think, and I will try to make myself another one. And then I also needed some more things for the festival, because you need something to choose between, of course. So I cast on another pair of socks, the Cozy Hygge socks by Ina Knits. I just found, so This is a scrappy kind of pattern. The point is to use up scraps. So I found all my blue sock yarn, bluish sock yarn, and I divided them into 2 piles with the same weight on both, and so I could get pretty similar socks. And I think I managed to do that. And you hold 2 strands together. So I did that, and I knitted on 3.5mm needles, US 4, and they are so much fun. I really love how you can get so fun socks out of scraps, and yeah, it's always like I just want to get to the next color and to the next color, and yeah, they're a lot of fun and they go by so fast. The first sock I finished on the first day we were at the festival, or on our way there, because I was so lucky I could just be a passenger. My friend, she was driving, and I could knit all the way, so I was already past the heel and everything when we came to the place, to the hotel, and in the evening I knitted the rest of the socks. So it goes by really fast. I didn't have enough yarn, I suddenly realized, so that was right before the toe, and I just took some of the Filcolana Arvetta that I had and put into the toe. So that went very well, I think. So they weigh about 118 grams. They weigh. So it's always fun to use upstash or scraps. Get them out of the... I have this big shoebox full of sock yarn scraps in all kinds of hand-dyed and Dropsfabel and Sandnes Sisu and all those other sock yarns as well. So I'm happy to use them. I think I forgot to say that this weighs 78.1 gram. Of course, it's always on the screen for you, if that is something that interests you to know. I'm very excited to share my whips with you, and especially the first one. If you've been here before, you've seen it many times, but I thought this would take longer than it did. It's my Mamba dress by Ull Knitwear, and I now have a dress. It's not done, but it is a dress. I'm so happy with this. So this has taken a long time, but suddenly the body of the dress was done. I felt like it took so much time, and I was sure that I would have a lot left. But suddenly I have knitted enough on the body so I could start on the front and the back, and that went by super fast. Even though I had some issues and had to rip back, you put the stitches in the middle on hold, and then you knit the left and the right side separately. And I did the first one, I think, the first, if it was the left or the right, I don't remember, but one of the sides several times because I made so many mistakes. There is, you do some, or shape for the neck with short rows, but it was a new type of short rows for me. I've never done them before. I did it with a yarn over, and I couldn't find any tutorials for it on YouTube. They are probably there. I just didn't know what to search for, so I had so many issues and I didn't understand how it was meant that you are always counting. You're stopping, let's say, 2 stitches before the turn. Okay, I'll try again. When you do short rows, you always either knit longer or shorter than where you turned last. So let's say I stopped, this is not the right count, but you stopped 2 stitches before the last turn, and then you turn again, and so on. And I couldn't get that to be correct with the amount of stitches I had and amount of times I was supposed to turn. It didn't add up, and I didn't understand it. So I had to put it down. I had to go to sleep. I did this, of course, late in the evening, never a wise thing to do. And when I was lying in bed and I couldn't sleep because I thought of this, and suddenly I understood how I was supposed to do it, I thought, and I did. So yeah, that was a bit annoying to not understand, and I think if I am going to do it again sometimes, maybe I will just do the German short rows. They won't add up, I think, but I just have to fudge it somehow. Fudge it? Is that the right way to say? I don't know. Yeah, I just have to try and make it work. And I didn't understand how you were going to knit those yarn overs and stitches together to make it nice. So it doesn't look very nice, I have to say. I'm not very pleased with it. You can see it's very bulky, and I did it so many times. I just gave up in the end, to be honest. I'm sure it's very easy when you understand it, and but my head just couldn't wrap itself around how you were supposed to do this. So that's a bit annoying, but still I'm happy. I think it's okay. I don't think, if you're not a knitter yourself, I don't think maybe you will think too much about it. So I'm very happy with it and how it turned out in the end. On the shoulders, you were supposed to seam it together with mattress stitch. I didn't do that, no. I did use 3 needle bind offs, so you can see a very clear line, but I don't care, because I think it's very sturdy, because it's a lot of weight in this dress, and yeah, I just think it's okay. I don't mind that it is a line on the top of the shoulder. I haven't told you what I'm knitting this in. I'm knitting this in Drops Lima, which is a wool and alpaca blend. It's very soft and comfy and very warm. And I am knitting the size 1 because I am so off gauge that I just had to take the size 1. And I am knitting on 3.5 and 4mm needles, which is US 4 and 6. And the color is light gray, 2187. Yes, I think the color is very tall, maybe a bit too high up on my neck. So it actually itches a bit when I have it here, but I feel like I have it here when I have it on. So I'm thinking about maybe taking off a few centimeters. I've done an Italian bind off, so I think I'm just going to cut it off and do the bind off again. But I want to do the sleeves first, which I have started on. I started on the first sleeve. These 10 centimeters I've knitted 3 times. The first time I wasn't happy with my pickup edge, so I did that one more time. And of course I knitted 10 centimeters before I decided that I didn't like it. Then I knitted again, and then I did something wrong with the cables, and I didn't see it right away, so I had to rip back, and then I started again. So hopefully I won't do more mistakes now, and I can finish the sleeves soon. Maybe it's done next time. And if you wonder, it fits me perfectly, and I'm so happy, because I was afraid that it was going to be too big for me. But it actually is perfect. It's the perfect amount of positive ease and everything. So yes, this is perfect. I think it looks so good, and I'm so excited to be able to wear it, which will probably be next winter because this is a very warm dress. But I think it's very, very nice, and I'm excited to finish it and to be able to use it a lot next winter. And I want to make more dresses. I want to knit more dresses. Yeah, so that is absolutely on my knitting plan for next winter, I think. So that is my Mamba dress. It's soon done. Maybe I have it finished next time and I can try to wear it if it's not too warm. Then I'm of course knitting away on my Eva cardigan. I am knitting the Eva cardigan by Petite Knit in Drops Charisma in the color 40 light old pink, and I am finally done with all the increases on this cardigan, and now it's just back and forth, which is not my favorite to knit or to purl, but yeah. And I have to say, I'm not a fan of the Drops Charisma yarn. This is very tough on my hands, so I think that is also doing that I don't want to knit on this so much. But if I do a few rows every day, it will be done at some point. And I don't love the color either, so but I'm going to finish it, and maybe I will try to dye it when I'm done with the cardigan, or maybe I will just gift it and I will knit another cardigan for myself in a color that I really like. That is also an option, but I just wanted to use up this Drops Charisma, which I have had in my stash for several years now, and I just want to have it out of my stash. So that's why I'm just knitting this cardigan, and hopefully it will soften up when I wash it. I hope so. Yeah, but I'm not a fan. I'm not going to buy more Drops Charisma, I think. But I really like the Drops Lima, which is wool and alpaca. That is so soft. So I don't think I have much to say about the Eva cardigan. I am knitting the size medium. I'm knitting on 3.5 and 4 millimeter needles, US 4 and 6, if I haven't said that already. And we'll see. I don't have a hurry with this one. I just knit on it a few rows a day, and we'll see when it's done. I cast on for one more project that I could bring for my or for a festival knitting, because you need things to choose between, of course. So I cast on a Musselburgh hat, but I actually didn't knit on it at all when I was at the festival, But I have this beautiful hand-dyed yarn that I got in my advent swap from with Lauren in Work Knits. It's such a beautiful color. It is from Beehive Yarns and it's called Cozy Up. And I just cast on. So I'm done with the increases now and I'm just knitting on, and I think I want to try and knit most of the yarn I have into this hat, so it will be a long hat that I can fold up and have a thick brim on. So hopefully it will be very good. I am knitting the child small adult size on 2.5mm needles, US 1.5. Yes. So very excited for this. This will just be an easy knit to bring with me when I'm out and about. So as I said, I was at a knitting festival last weekend and there was a lot of beautiful hand dyers there and people who had a lot of great knitting stash and accessories. So there has been some acquiring of Yarnjoy since last time. So I really want to show you the beautiful yarn that I got with me home. So I was visiting the booth of the wonderful Selena in Through the Wardrobe Yarn. She is one of my favorite hand dyers. She has the most amazing colors. So I got this beautiful yarn for a project. Let me see if I can show you her tag. Nope. And this color is called Shall We Promenade. And it's so gorgeous, and look how shiny it is. It is on her Regency Romance DK. It's 50% merino and 50% silk, and it's absolutely gorgeous. And I can't wait to knit a top in this. I have one in mind that is not released yet, so I'm excited for it to be released, and I will show you when I cast it on. And I got a few more skeins from Through the Wardrobe Yarn, and these beautiful skeins, which is High Fantasy 100% Superwash Merino. The colorway is called Lyra's Oxford. This is also going to be a top. I think it's going to be the what is it going to be? I can't remember. I can't remember. I had a plan for these and now I can't remember. So, but they will be used for something very nice. I hope I have written it down somewhere. And then I was visiting Garn Boutique in Fortuna, which is another beautiful hand dyer. They have an Easter sock set that they had dyed for Easter. So it's so bright and fun, and I can't wait to maybe knit some socks out of this or something else. We'll see. But I just had to have these beautiful fun colors. And I also bought this beautiful yarn from Garn Boutique in Fortuna. And this is from the laboratory. That just means that it is not a color that they dye regularly. Yeah. And then another dyer that I really love is Mrs. Fox yarn. And I had to buy this beautiful yarn. This is with stellina in it. If you can see that it sparkles. The colorway is called Lifechat, so directly translated it's called Apple Handsome. I don't think it makes sense in English, but in Norwegian it does. And it's very, you can see the apple, green apple color, beautiful. So this is going to be a summer top called Amata top, I think, by Mamba. She's a Norwegian designer. So I'm very excited to knit that one. And that is, I got one more skein from Mrs. Fox Yarn, but that was a gift, so I haven't it here. Yes. And my plans are still the porcelain sweater that I'm going to knit for a friend. So I hope I can start that during next week when it's Easter break, hopefully. And I have also started another project, and I'm not sure I can talk about it. I haven't asked, but it's a test knit, which is very exciting. I cast on yesterday. I can show you the colors that I'm using. So I'm using this one from Anita Strikketante Norwegian hand dyer, together with yarn from Through the Wardrobe Yarn. And this yarn I got from Garnbutikken Fortuna, and also this, which is from Garnbutikken Fortuna. I'm very excited to knit with these and excited to share more with you when I know if I can. I'm not sure. I don't want to say anything before I know. But I have knitted a gauge swatch. So I am very proud of myself. Here it is. And of course I have to do that when I'm test knitting. So very excited for this project, and I've already started and I am loving it. So can't wait to continue on that project. So that's my plans, I think. Yes. And I have so many other things that I really want to cast on, but I have to do the test knit and do the porcelain sweater for my friend so she can have her beautiful sweater. All right, maybe we can talk a little bit about the festival that I went to last weekend. I went to Southwest Yarn Fest, which was in Stavanger, which is about 3.5-4 hour drive west from where I live. It's a beautiful city, but I didn't see much of the city because I was at the festival. I went with a friend. That was very nice to have a weekend with her and just chat and just enjoy a few nights at the hotel and knit a lot and have so much fun at the festival. I also met several people that I met before, several podcasters that I watch and think are so wonderful. And I also met a lot of people that watch my podcast, which is very fun. Most of them, I guess, watch my Norwegian podcast and not this one. But I talk about most of the same things. So yeah, so that was very fun. It's always a bit hard to know how to react, because I do think it's a lot of fun when people say that they watch my podcast, but I get a little bit embarrassed too. I don't know why. I shouldn't be, but I really think it's a lot of fun to put faces to all the people that watch my nonsense on YouTube, and yeah, it's very nice, and I think it's so much fun that I can have this knitting community, and all because of this podcast that I one day decided to make. Yeah, and it was a great festival. It's a very nice group of people that makes this festival every year. I think it was the third time they had it, and I've been all 3 times, and they already set the date for next year. There was a knitting dinner on Friday. I didn't go to that, but I heard it was very nice with goodie bags and a lot of fun. And on Saturday it was a lot of things happening on the stage. It was a talk with the hand dyer, behind Mrs. Foxian. And there was a talk with Oslo Mikrospinneri, which is a small mill run by a beautiful lady. And there was also a talk with a lady who has the strikketerapi.no, which is knitting therapy. She is a therapist, and she combines it with knitting, and she has made these patterns where there is a knitting pattern, but in between all the things that you are knitting, there's time for reflection and a few thoughts and things you can do while you are knitting. So that is very nice. And yes, there were a raffle, and there was prizes, and there was a quiz. There was a beautiful music, what do you call that? Yeah, there was a lady that came and played the violin for us, which was very nice. Yeah, and there was a what's it called? All these words. I can't find a word. It's just standing still. But Stephen West had a little talk to people who you had to buy your own ticket. I wasn't there, but he was on a big screen, and they had him on the screen and talked to him, and he shared about some of his patterns and stuff. I think I wasn't there, but I heard it was really good, and he was a lot of fun to listen to. So that was also there. Yes. But I have taken a little bit of video while I was there, so I will try to put that at the end if you're interested. Yeah, I think that is everything for today. I am struggling with words now. I think it's a good place to say goodbye. I hope you had a lovely time together with me. I always enjoy talking to you and sharing my knitting, and I hope that you will have a beautiful Easter if you celebrate or if you don't, but that you will have a good week and lovely days. I hope for some sun. Spring is close, and today I think it's a good day and nice weather, so I will be going outside. I'm going to see my youngest son play in an Easter play today at his school, so I will be walking to his school. I think don't take the car today. It's not long. It's only a 10-minute walk, so I think it's good for me. And I will watch him, and yeah, that will be nice. And the Easter break starts tomorrow, so all the kids are very happy. Yeah, okay. I hope you are well and that you are knitting or crocheting on something fun would be lovely to hear what you have been doing while you listen to me. That's always fun. And yes, I just have to say one more thing. I just want to thank you all for the great feedback on my knit and chat last week. I did a knit and chat and talked about my knitting journey. And you guys are amazing. You really encouraged me and give me so good feedback and encouraging and kind, warm words, which really mean a lot to me. And I think I have answered all the comments so far. And I hope you really understand that it means a lot to me. It's not always easy to express that in words, but I really mean it. You guys are the best. And I had so much fun doing that knit and chat, so I would really like to do it again. So please tell me if you think that is fun to just sit and knit with me while I talk. I don't know what about. But if you have some questions, maybe you have some questions after my last knit and chat, and I could do a Q&A or something. That would be really nice. It was so fun because it wasn't any preparations. It was just turn on the camera and talk to you. So I really enjoyed that so much. So thank you so much for giving me such a positive feedback. Okay, now we will end this episode. Take care of the people around you. Give a smile to someone today. I'm sure it will make their day. Yeah. All right. I see you in a couple of weeks. Bye. So as I said, I was at a knitting festival last weekend. So they had blah 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 blah. So as I said, I was at yarn. So as I said, I was at a knitting festival last weekend. So they had blah blah. So as I said, I was at. So as I said, I was at a knitting. God morgen alle sammen, god morgen far og mor, god morgen kjære søster, god morgen storebror.